Hello and welcome to Dreams and Wings, and welcome here to Glenforsa on the west coast of the Highlands of Scotland. It's a lovely little airstrip. This is just default. There is or there was a third-party version on FlightSim.to for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I've not tried it in 2024, I must admit, but it would be lovely to have a really nice version in here because it's a very picturesque location. And here we are in Toags Hangar. Calm down. Toags Hangar's Lama. Beautiful, beautiful helicopter. I've got the TDS GTN XI 750 in here, but we're not going to be using that today because we're just going to be looking out the windows and looking at this beautiful scenery. So what we're going to be doing is, actually I can show you on the map because that's always a good idea, isn't it? As long as I then remember to put it back onto the normal mode. So let's have a look at the little nav map. So we're taking off from Glenforsa down here. We're going to head over to Tobermory, and you may or may not know, I can't even remember what it's called now. Balamory. It's where Balamory's filmed. But anyway, it's well known anyway. I've not seen it in 2024. I very much doubt it's going to look like the real thing, but it seemed like a good waypoint to head down to. From there, we're going to head up Loch Shiel, head up to the Glenfinnan Viaduct for the Harry Potter fans in the house, and then we're going to head over this way, head up the west coast, Mallaig. We're going to go to Sandaig, which if you may or may not be a fan of the writer Gavin Maxwell, you may have heard of Ring of Bright Water. They did make a film about it, which was very different. Oh, I've got it set to going back to the aircraft. But anyway, that's where that was set. Very picturesque. And then we're going to head over to Skye, have a play around here, and then finish off at Glenbrittle. I've no idea what that is going to look like. That's a helipad in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. But as we know, quite often those helipads look nothing like a helipad. They might well look like a collection of trees, for all we know. Right, so let's have a quick look. I just need to get a couple of things set up here. There we go. Something I didn't do at the beginning. We need that going. So yeah, this is going to be very chilled out. I am hoping to do a bit more live streaming in the next couple of weeks or so. So more than anything, this is also just checking that everything is tickety-boo. So that's all good. I've got the chat over here just so I can read that. I think we're good to go. What's that doing there? Okay. But yeah, very lucky with the weather today. This is live weather. Wind 9 knots coming from that way. That away. Looking in that direction. That's how it looks anyway. So shouldn't be too bad. But certainly this helicopter is more than capable of dealing with that. Okay, so quick check of the map. Right, let's get it started. So this is not going to be a textbook start. And just crane my net. I do need to set up a view. For some reason, yeah, you can probably just see it there. The helicopter is quivering on the ground. I can only imagine it's quivering in anticipation of the flight. Not quivering in fright, of course. That would be rather worrying. Pop those circuit breakers back in, because otherwise it's a bit embarrassing. Let's have some lights on as we're about to start whopping things around, and can leave the rest as it is. What I will do, as we're in a helicopter, as is traditional, is that when that's finished doing the TOS test, we will turn off that warning.
TOS system test OK.
Yeah. Turn that off because otherwise it's going to drive us absolutely insane with all the racket it's going to make. But there we go. Lovely piece of kit this. Let's get it back onto map view. There we are. Okay, so let's wind up a little bit of juice there. That's in the right position. Everything is looking good there. Let's have the booster on. Checking the rotor brake is not on. That would be rather embarrassing. Yeah, it's a lovely helicopter. This is very much seat of the pants. It's actually a really good way if you're interested in learning to fly helicopters in the sim. This is a really good place to start, I think, because I'm no expert by any stretch, but I think it teaches you how helicopters fly, and it kind of preps you, I think, in my humble opinion. Okay, I'm going to shut up now and we're going to start so you can hear the beautiful sounds. Get the right click spot, which is always a bit tricky. Angling my head so I can wait for the point where the rotor starts to turn. Here we go. Close the door now because it's not likely to jump out. Let's have a look outside. Lovely sounds. Okay, let's turn the throttle up now. And let me get the chat back just so I don't lose that. Yeah, the Huey's another beautiful one. Light flight. It's I love the Huey. The Huey in this Lama, beautiful. Okay, so where are we? Everything's looking good down here. We've got full juice. We can close that now. Quick check with the chat. How's the sound? All good? Is the mix working? Right, I think we're ready to go. Thank you guys, much appreciated. And we will just follow the coast. Yes, light flight I do. I've got the Verpil TCS Plus. With a Hawk grip. Great piece of kit, really nice. Really is nice weather today for doing this. Good visibility. Wind isn't too bad. Chance for me just to let's get a bit of practice in as well on this helicopter. I've been doing so much flying in the H145, which is which, if you follow the streams and the videos, you know I'm using for the HEMS missions. But this is just pure seat of the pants helicopter flying. Oh, Okay. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I think I used to use a Bravo throttle lever for my collective, and did that for some time. And then only recently, God, when was it I got this? It doesn't feel like I've had it that long, but I've been wanting to get one of these for some time, but they're not cheap. And I wanted to make sure I was going to get the most out of it. And then I thought, these days I'm spending so much time flying helicopters, it seems to make absolute sense to get one. So I did, and I've got to say, absolutely worth every penny. Apart from the extra control that you get, the immersion is just fantastic. I've not flown helicopters in real life. I've flown fixed wing, but not helicopters, so I don't know what it's like to fly a helicopter in real life, but I imagine that having a collective lever, even though it's bolted to a chair in a spare room of the house, it does add that extra realism to it. Yeah, the H145 is lovely. H160 as well. I wish the action pack was out for the H160. I kind of feel that maybe they put a hold on that because of everything that was going on with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. But I would love to fly HEMS missions in the H160. It's a great piece of kit. I just realised how slow I was flying as I was messing about chatting. Gorgeous scenery. Yeah, the nice thing about this helicopter is it's very capable and it's very nimble, and it certainly does teach you the hard way how to manoeuvre a helicopter, how the physics work. Flying like this as I am now is relatively easy. It's when you're trying to do any kind of slow speed manoeuvring, hovering, all that kind of stuff, that's when the physics comes into play. You know, the what happens to the torque when you change collective, what you have to do with the anti-torque pedals to counteract that. It all has an effect, and this helicopter is really good at teaching you that. And I've said it on videos before and streams, I think flying helicopters can be very similar to meditation at times. When you're doing that kind of low speed manoeuvring, hovering, you're in a zone, your breathing changes, your focus changes, you're very much in that moment, feeling what the helicopter is doing. And in an odd kind of way, I find that incredibly relaxing. Look at the detail on the shoreline, the rocks. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is so good at adding that kind of texture, not in the artwork texture kind of way, but in the texture, that rocky shore, 3D rocks and all that kind of thing. It really is wonderful. Right, sorry, I can see this in the chat. Is this available to buy? No, the Lama's been out for some time. This isn't a new helicopter by any stretch, and it's available on flightsim.to. I think it was the first Toags Hangar helicopter I bought was the Alouette 3, but I must admit I'm not a fan of the looks of that. So it was good when the Lama came out because I love the look of the Lama. I know they're very similar helicopters built on basically on the same machine, but I love the look of the Lama, and then of course the Huey, and then of course who knows what else he's working on. Now I'm going to guess that's pronounced Captain Baloo, but I'm going to check. Hello, how you doing? Nice to have you along. So there we have Tobermory up ahead. What's the story of Balamory, I think is the famous song, which I'm not going to sing. And I am slightly disappointed to say that in real life, if you Google Tobermory, you'll see what I mean. That looks nothing like it. That looks like Slough Trading Estate has come to the shores of Western Scotland. Pretty blooming awful, but there you go. Bit of a shame, but if you Google it, you'll see what I mean. There's a slight indication. Those cottages there. It's a little bit like that, but it's multicoloured. But yeah, the real thing doesn't look anything like that. I'll tell you what I am going to do. Let's just stabilise a little bit. I'm going to slightly change. One of the things I find more in 2024 is the zoom sometimes doesn't necessarily feel right. Wrong one. There we go. With the zoom, the kind of default zoom seems to get quite a pronounced fisheye lens effect, which is a pain in the bottom. Right, let's just... There we go. That's better. Right, quick look at the map. We've got a ship here. Say hello to the ship. And then we'll head across the water. By the way, I'm on the Western Europe server, so if anyone wants to come along, you are more than welcome. Lighthouse! I'm going to go and have a look at the lighthouse. I don't know if that's Orbec's landmark scenery or if that's in the sim itself, but it's a nice little fishing trawler. I'm probably guessing that that's Orbec's, but I might be wrong. Onboard simulations, no. I'm on Billy Basic. I must admit, I've had enough sim troubles recently. Well, not so much sim troubles, but rig troubles, because I nuked my rig installing a BIOS update. Silly boy. I haven't got the beta, so I'm just on the standard issue. Current Sim R66 loads me in the cockpit once I activate the VR headset and I'm sitting outside. Oh, that's strange. Oh, you probably know this anyway, but I'm just thinking if that happened to me, what would I be thinking? You probably already thought this, but it might be, if you haven't, check that you've got a recentering control set up, because it could be that your position is offset. So you just need to, reset the position. I've not done VR in the sim for a long time, but I used to have and I can't remember what the control is, but I used to have a control set up so that, a bit like I have for my head tracking. I used to have a control set up so I could quickly do that, and then it should put you back in the pilot seat, which is where you want to be. Okay, so just heading up this way now. So we're heading up to Loch Shield. Concentrate, boy. Something else that I notice a lot with this helicopter. Of course, being in the sim, you don't get any physical feedback, so you don't necessarily know when you're flying out of balance. But looking at the old ball down there, you have to keep an eye on that as well, just to make sure you are being a professional pilot and all that. So we're just going to scoot across here. Flying over water isn't necessarily very interesting, but unfortunately we have to fly over it to get where we're going. Love this helicopter, really is gorgeous. So many things you can customise on it as well. If you know, you know, but you can change all sorts of things. You can add glare shields, you can turn it into an air ambulance, you can add a winch, you can add side pockets, you can add antennas. It's beautifully customisable. It's one of those aircraft where you can just make it how you want it. Love that. Yes, space ship, but it just puts me back outside. okay, okay. Then it must just be something to do with the add-on. In which case, I haven't got a clue. Unfortunately, I don't have any Robinson helicopters. Which is silly, really, because it's certainly a type that's a lot more prevalent in the real world. Certainly, my local Blackbush airport has got a few knocking around, but it's not a helicopter that appeals to me. But it should, and I'm the first to admit, it should appeal to me. I think they fixed that in SU1. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure recently I came into a helipad and I didn't have any issues at all with updrafts. Right, now Slight Flight has asked where I am, so I'm just going to take the opportunity to land and then we'll get the map back up again. Just checking the wind. 10 knots on the nose. Time to concentrate. Look for something that's relatively flat. That looks pretty good. Right. Okay, let's get the map up again. Okay, so this is where we are now on Oronsay. Nearest airport is Glenforsa. Trying to see. Yeah, North Connell's not going to be much good for you. But if you with 2024 you can select a position, can't you? So if you really select any position along here on the ground, then you should be able to take off from the ground. Does that make sense? Slight Flight? Just adjusting my joystick mount. Let's have a quick look outside. Beautiful helicopter. Look at that. I don't know why, it just makes me smile. And flying it in scenery like this is absolute joy. It's quite level. It's more level from the air. Beautiful. Okay, mate. So I'm going to be heading up this way now. So if you come in at any point really along that line, you should be golden. Oh, I've got to done that again, haven't I? What a plonker! What a plonker! I do that so many times. There we go. Let's go outside again. Because I was saying, look at that, isn't it beautiful? And you were looking at the map. There we go. That's what I was looking at. Lovely little helicopter. There we go. Thank you, Guy. I need some kind of a reminder, like the old joke about pilots having gloves with left and right on them. I need something in front of me that says, turn the bloody map off. What an idiot. Okay. All set, that's all good. Quick look down. Everything's looking good there. Check around. I'm in Discord, I've got Discord up on a screen here, but there's no live chat. There's no voice chat, I should say. But the Discord is up, which is a good opportunity, seeing as I'm on the ground and I can type. To whack in the link. Okay, right. Quick look at the map. So, wind is still on the nose. It's a good idea, Guy. Good idea. Right, but thanks for pointing that out. It's funny because it's not funny. So I've got main screen. I've got a screen here with OBS on it and the chat, and then up there I've got the map screen. I try not to look at the OBS screen too much because, ironically, I cannot stand looking at myself. And I see the little me there, like, hello, look at me with my headphones on. And I have to look away. So I tend to then forget that I haven't turned the map off. Anyway, enough of that. Enough of that. Let's get going. Yeah, tell me when you spawn in Slight Flight, because then I'll check if I've got my labels on. Right, let's be a little bit sensible about this. There we go. Concentrate. So coming up on the collective now. I'm sure I saw before in a Lama, so I don't know if it's someone in the chat. But at least I know I've got the labels on now. So let's head over here. So we're going to head to Loch Shield now. I'm currently reading a book by an author. And as soon as I start to say it, the name goes, because I'm concentrating on flying. What's that over there? If that looks, it's probably auto-gen, but for a moment there I wondered if it might be a castle. Right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's a book by, castle. Is it a castle or is it Dunder Mifflin? It's a little Scottish castle. And it is not marked. Oh, there we go. Glenforsa Castle. There you go. Flying and sightseeing on this channel. Yes, Mike Tomkis. He was, bless him, a nature lover. Wrote quite a few books about being in the wilderness and that sort of thing. Wrote a book about his time living in a little bothy on Elan Shona, and then he wrote another book, which is the one I'm reading at the moment, A Last Wild Place, where he was living on just on the side of Loch Shield. Real kind of hardcore living in the wilderness kind of living. Alan, I can see you. So we'll take a look at that as well, if I can get the map to play ball. It's very difficult because I'm trying to check my positioning and everything. and also going at a smaller scale just so I can pick out some landmarks for you. Which reminds me, I need to get my Google Maps theme installed, because that makes life a bit easier. I'm not even sure if it'll show up on this map, but anyway, that's my problem. Aidan, how you doing, mate? Hope all is good with you. There's Guy. Now, Guy, I'm going to take a guess here that your hovering bonanza is actually the Lynx. And if so, are you using a repaint? Because I've got the Lynx installed, so I don't know why I'm not seeing you as Lynx. The only reason I installed the Lynx was so I could see you in multiplayer. So I don't know why it's doing that. Flow. I can't remember how to change the server in 2004. Oh, it's in online settings, and if you go over to the right in online settings, or settings online, it's in a drop down there, I seem to remember. I've kind of set mine once and forgotten about it, but I'm pretty sure that's where it was. Pretty sure. Look at that scenery, my god, it's lovely up here. I am conscious, by the way, that I do need to start live streaming from other places in the world rather than the Highlands. But honestly, flying helicopters up here is wonderful for the scenery, but also because there's lots of different places to explore, land on, all that kind of stuff. Power lines and pylons and all that sort of thing as well, just in case we see anything of that. But otherwise, this is kind of stock 2024, and it's this kind of thing that makes it. I recently have been wanting to fly warbirds so much more, especially P-51s, and has had me tempted to reinstall P3D, but it's this world that stops me from doing that, because last time I installed P3D it felt so dead compared to this. It makes it difficult. Okay, so let's just scoot up here. It could be. Yeah, I've just got the latest download from the Discord, but I haven't messed with it. Okay, right, Aidan, this is your chance as well then. If let me just. I need to find this cottage. Good enough. Yeah, oh yeah, we are nicely on the slope there. It's funny how it looks flat until you actually drop down and then you suddenly realise you're at a slight angle, but that's okay. Yeah, coming in there fast and suddenly putting the brakes on, it gives you a different dynamic on the approach. So that's, I don't do too many of those. I tend to like a shallower, more gentle approach. But that was interesting. Right, Aidan, if you want to join, this is where I am on the map. On little nav map. So that's Loch Shield, that's the Glenfinnan viaduct and the monument. But if you spawn in anywhere kind of up here on the ground with your engine running or with your engine off, whatever you want to do, you should be able to join up. But yeah, so if you're looking for a waypoint on the world map, Glenfinnan viaduct is one of the POIs, and then you've just got this long straight. That's what it looks like from a distance, and that's where we are. Right, where is this? But it's not going to be on here. I think that could be it. The name is not coming up, but I think that's where Mike Tomkis. It's Tom Keys, Mike Tom Keys, where his. I think that could be his old cottage. It just looks about right. Yeah, so I'm going to set that as a waypoint, and then we can go and have a look at that. Okay, well I remember. Amazing. The world came back. Yes, Guy, I most certainly will. Most certainly you will be seeing that on the channel, that's for sure. Very excited about that. I love the 500E, which obviously is a more modern version. Yeah, the OH6. It's one of my favourite helicopters, and I suspect will be a little bit like the Lama, although perhaps even more so. It'll be nice and nimble for nipping around, messing about in. Right, so we all good? I think so. Just checking the map again. Right, let's go. On y va! As they don't say in Scotland. They don't speak French, or some of them do. The incredible thing about this is, I mean, you can, because of the way the terrain works, you can see the peat coloured water down there. It just, the scenery, I know the water in the sim isn't peat coloured, but because of the coloration of the ground, it looks like peat coloured water. It's just so damn realistic. Morning, Neil. Hope all is good with you. Sparky, good to see you, mate. How are you? Don't tell me you are working or off to work today. You always give me a guilt trip. I came down here in the Chinook the other day, and it was quite a different experience. Not quite as nimble as the Lama. Oh, I'm sorry, mate. Yes. Yeah, you might be right, Guy. You might be right. With my left hand now and look at the map. There go and have a look at Mike Tomke's cottage. I'm pretty sure this is it. So, yeah, the first book I read was his life on Elon Shona. And the second book I am just started, which is his life living here. And hopefully we'll get a flavour of that. So over on the right there is a logging trail, which I don't think is probably hidden. I'm just going to make sure I don't... Oh, I can see slight flight. There we go. Right, I'm just, now that I can see where Guy is, I'm just going to come over here. See if we can see the logging trail. Probably not, it's probably hidden under those trees. Sometimes you can see these things quite clearly, but I guess if the real thing is covered by canopy, then you're not necessarily going to see it. So I'm just going to move over here. So I think this is the, pretty sure this is the location. I'll have to check Google Maps, but when I had a look at Google Maps, that looks about right. Yeah it is. I remember the Jessie. So that down there was a, concentrate on flying, you can just see it there. It's a tiny little croft that he lived in and he renovated, and he came here to explore the wildlife, to climb in the mountains, to study the otters, the deer, the birds. Can you imagine living here? It would be no road there. It would just be amazing. It really would be quite beautiful. What a location. Obviously very harsh in the winter, which I haven't got to yet. It would just be something else. There we go, Retrieve Neil in a Lama. Fantastic. Retrieve Neil, I don't know if you're in the chat, but if you are, let me know who you are in the chat. It's such a shame at the moment in 2024 that you don't see the rotors turn on other helicopters. Such a pity, but look at that. Lovely Lama. What a great helicopter. Okay, let's go. Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. I will just do another circuit just to allow Slight Flight to catch up a bit. Sparky, always working, dude. Yeah. You do work hard, mate. What kind of shift pattern are you working these days? Ah, Neil. Excellent. Guy, that's the standard links build. Yeah, that's really strange then. Maybe it's just something to do with multiplayer at the moment. Very odd. But it's definitely there because I checked after last time. There's Aidan. We'll see what Aidan has come. Has he come in the backup Chinook today? Always handy for the tea and medals. Yes, he's in the Chinook. And hopefully we will see a Chinook. Wonderful sound. He's in the stealth Chinook by the looks of it. I am seeing nothing. There it is. Oh. Oh, it's one of those one that's got a late popping in LOD. A bit like the HPG Super Puma. You don't see it until you're right on top of it. Now, hang on a minute. That looks like... Yeah. I'm going to have to fly up here. Sometimes, I wasn't planning on flying up here. I was planning on flying up the lock, but sometimes you see a piece of terrain and you just just got to explore it. And that's the beauty of this sim, again, at the risk of being very boring. What I love about, and it was the same with 2020, but especially so with 2024, because the detail is just so insanely crisp, is you can just explore the real world. It's crazy. No, I'm not trying to do a Christopher Walken impression. Crazy! Yeah, definitely not trying to do it. Don't even know why I attempted that. I just heard myself say it the first time and it reminded me of one of those impressions. Okay, I should have read the map a bit better. I've not got... My map doesn't necessarily have a great deal of terrain information on it, so I wasn't expecting to be that to be such a steep climb, but we are in the Lama, and the Lama is known for its capability at high altitude, so we'll just pull some pitch, do a nice climb. Look at that. 2,000 feet a minute, no problem at all. Yes, Sparky, me too. It's going to be good fun, that, isn't it? I would imagine it's going to be very realistic, very a good challenge to fly, and very nippy. There is the backup Chinook. It's interesting. I don't think that's the livery that you're flying, Aidan, but for some reason, whenever we do multiplayer and you're in the Chinook, that's always the livery I see. It's yeah, hopefully with SU2 they'll fix all that so you kind of see what you're meant to see. Right, we're popping over the top. Excuse me, sorry about that. Avoiding action. And there's Lock Shield again. So we'll just come down the valley. This is where you have to, there we go. I was just going to say, this is where you have to watch your speed, because it's very easy to get carried away with the terrain and come flying over a ridge like that, put the nose down a bit, and suddenly you're over speeding. So I was just saying that as the warning bell went off. There's the Glenfinnan Viaduct, and if you're a Harry Potter fan, you'll recognise that. I've got to say, I'll be completely honest with you, at the risk of losing some viewers, I never got into the Harry Potter thing. So it doesn't carry that same recognition to me from that point of view, but obviously it's the Glenfinnan Viaduct. It is very much iconic. And also, I suppose, Forza. Was it Forza 4 or Forza 5? It features in that as well.
500.
Yeah, I think the Chinook, I think the LOD on that is set to make it appear quite close range. Now, do you know what? I haven't checked. Has this got the Glenfinnan monument? Yeah, the Chinook's doing some very funny things. It's kind of fading in and out there for a bit. Right, so let's just wind the map in a bit. Seem to have the monument on it with this scale. Maybe it was put together by an Englishman. But from memory, and I think it's probably going to be covered in these trees. Of course, MSFS 2024 has got a lot of trees in it. So it's not... There it is, there's the monument. How cool is that? There we go. Right. So let's focus on the map, and now we're heading up this way. So what's that? The A315 flying now as we head over towards Skye. Wind the map out a little bit again. I mean, there's a good example. Just back there, that railway embankment. Incredible detail. Moments where I suddenly realise I've forgotten where the fuel gauge is in the Lama. It's been that long since I've done any kind of long flight in it. There we go, there's the overspeed again, so back on the nose and down on the collective a little bit. See what I mean? It's so easy. It's a bit like in the 500E. It's very easy to, because it feels like a little race car. It's very easy to suddenly find that you are going a wee bit too fast. So now I've got a guy in a Chinook. This is being a bit silly here, if I'm honest. Ugh. Yeah, VR in helicopters is something else. I should do it more often. Because it is, and also in VR it's a totally different experience. You've got a much better appreciation for where you are, what the helicopter's doing, your surrounds. It's just incredibly rewarding, flying helicopters in VR. But I don't do it often enough, mainly because I'm usually needing to look at other screens as well. But it's been so long since I've flown VR. In fact, I think it's been probably well over a year. My old headset probably wonders what on earth happened to it. I can see the Chinooks are lurking. Yeah, the Chinooks are definitely popping in at the last minute, aren't they? Very odd. Checking the time. It's funny, if you'd said to me 10 years ago that one day you're going to be addicted to flying helicopters in a civilian flight sim, I would have thought you were bonkers. But these newer flight sims with the more realistic world and the third-party content, it's just incredibly addictive. The freedom just to go where you want, land where you want. You see an interesting spot, you can land there. You see an interesting location you want to take a closer look at, go back, circle over it, hover over it. Gives you good flying practice at the same time. Take care. Good to have you along for a bit. Nice to see another llama. Yeah, and helicopters aren't necessarily easy to get into. It's the kind of thing, if you you load a helicopter up, it, you know, potentially can be frustrating until you get to grips with it, and then it's incredibly rewarding. And that's the only thing I can say is, if you're tempted and you do a first flight and you think, God, this is ridiculous, it's going everywhere, it's hopeless, just stick with it, and the rewards are amazing. The way you can explore scenery, the things that you can do, flying the HEMS missions in the H145, for example, and of course now we've got career mode in Microsoft 2024, which I must admit I've not done, but you can do things with that. Incidentally, in the chat, if you've used career mode, what do you think? I've not gone anywhere near it. Simply because, if I'm honest, I can't be bothered with doing the whole progression thing. I just want to fly missions. But I'd love to know what you think. I sometimes forget that it's actually there, because I always just go straight to free flight. But then every now and again I see like a post in the Discord or a message somewhere, or someone will ask a question in comments on a video, and I think, yeah, I forgot it's got a career mode. Watch the trees, sunshine. Getting a little bit close there, getting a little bit distracted. As we rack it around a bit. Yeah, I want to just pop up over here. Look at that beach. There are some lovely sandy beaches up this way, especially up in the islands. You see some of the beaches up in Orkney in the Shetlands, and you've got incredibly, it looks almost like it could be the Maldives, kind of beautiful sandy beaches, blue water, guaranteed to shrink your manhood if you jumped into it. Apart from maybe in the height of summer, I guess. Tiny little lock there. So we're heading over to the west now, and I think I can't remember now. I've set a waypoint here, and I can't remember if because in the sim it's a helipad or whether it was just convenient. But I'm going to head over to it just in case, see if there's anything there. Quite often when I'm doing these flights, I'll just grab a little nav map and I'll just map out the route, and if something takes my fancy, I'll whack a waypoint on it. Yeah, I don't think, although it does look like there's something there. Buildings. But I don't think there's anything. What's that? Looks like there's a bridge. I'm not seeing. I think perhaps there's a helipad there in the real world. But in the sim it's probably buried under autogen somewhere, I should think. Now this is going to be interesting. How to pronounce it. When people come into the chat, you never quite know. So, Blastamal, hello, welcome. Blaster ML. Or if you're from the south of the UK, Blaster. It's a Blaster ML. I am part northern, part southern, so sometimes I say things in a southern way, sometimes I say them in a northern way. That's just the kind of mixed up guy I am. Okay, so now we're going to head up to Malay. Now there is most definitely a helipad in the sim, because I can see it on a little nav map. But again, I'm not sure what it will actually look like in the sim, so we'll see. Not sure how much clearance we'll get. That's the thing I said at the start. Quite often these helipads in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, you spawn in and it's like a spot surrounded by trees or with a building eloping on it. Just realised that now I've got some tea left. It's probably a bit gross, but yeah, it's cold, but it'll do. It'll do, goddammit. Detail is insane, isn't it? I have got the only thing I've got turned off is fauna, because I noticed that I was getting really bad FPS issues. Excuse me. I was getting really bad FPS issues. Suddenly, well, I say suddenly, it was after I changed my GPU, and I googled it, as one does, and discovered that there is some kind of an issue with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 for some people if you have fauna on. So I turned fauna off, and now I have no issues, but it means I have no sheep and all that sort of thing. Look at that beach there. Gorgeous. Proper paradise. Okay, so we're coming up on Malay now. It's just round the corner here, and then we'll have a look at this helipad, see what it looks like. Just looking at Guy's screenshot in the Discord. So, oh, okay. So to you, I am a. Is that PC-12? I can't really tell. It's a shame, isn't it, that Sobo haven't got their model matching down, so that if, like I'm in a helicopter, at least it would give you a default helicopter rather than substituting a Lama with a turboprop fixed wing. So let's see what we can find. Again, I've got the map wound out a little bit too far, so I can't see accurately. So let's just fly with the left hand, mouse with the right hand. There we go. Malay up here. Right, let's see if we can find this helipad. So according to the map, I think I can see the helipad, and I think it's got trees right next to it, if not on it. Let's have a look. Actually a good example there. I was saying earlier about the effects of collective and using the Toag. There's the helipad. Jeez. Well, it's tight, isn't it? ICAO, I'll tell you in a second. Echo, Golf, Bravo, Romeo, Kilo. That is that little helipad there. Now if I was in the H145, I'd be, concentrate, I'd be tempted to have a go at it, but I'm not sure if my Lama skills are good enough to thread the helicopter through the trees. This guy is now going to show off his skills and do it perfectly. I'm guessing that you're back in the links, Guy. How strange. He's in the Chinook, and the Chinook is now appearing as a bonanza for me. Luckily everyone else seems to be landing on there, so that gives me an excuse not to. Come up a little bit too high now. Okay, I am going to pull away because it's getting a little bit congested. So let's come back over here. I've not got the Wildcat. I have got crash detection on, so I may end up having to respawn here. Just going to wait till that clears. I'm very tempted to give it a go. This is where the practice comes in. But you have to be prepared to See how quickly they just came out of the zone. Afternoon, Mark. Hope all is good with you. So, got to get back in the zone again. Thread it through the trees to the helipad, but I'm guessing I should really be coming at it from the other side. Yeah, this isn't going to end well. Oh, look. Damn it! Damn it! Right, let's get control. Yeah, I could see that tree drifting towards me, so I dropped the collective to try and get the helicopter on the ground, but that was a bit of a tough landing. Time to change the skids. Let's come back and have a look. This is why stuff like this is actually so useful. Because it's such good training. Oh, looks like guys going in again. Let me just back off a bit. The Lama, you really do just feel everything. It's so, all those seat of the pants helicopter physics come in. You just have to get in the zone, stop talking. Tiny movements. Watch that tree again. Yeah, you see that helipad is way too close to the trees, so let's just there we go. Yeah. Trees right next to the helipad. Even I'm not that stupid. Okay. Just have a quick catch up on the chat. Yeah, I could see that, Aidan. You're in the RAF livery, but for some reason it's showing you in that other one, that Civi one, which is what it always seems to come up as for some reason. Right, quick look around. Trees, 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 lots of trees. So, focus. Get the hell out of there. Iowa squared, hello. So, we depart Maleg, having had one crash and one successful landing. So that's 50-50. I honestly cannot recommend that kind of thing enough. If you are learning helicopters, once you've got to a point where you feel you understand the physics and the control and that kind of stuff. Just messing about doing something like that is such a good way of learning learning how the helicopter is behaving, and also the consequences of when you're coming into a tight spot like that. Sometimes it's very easy to suddenly think, my God, I'm getting close to that tree, so you move the stick in a you know, you put in quite a strong positive input, and that can suddenly throw everything out of balance. Same with the collective, you can suddenly make a collective change that changes the torque, so then you're having to do the pedals, and you can slip out of that zone. So it's a really good way of practicing. Right, hang on a sec, on board. So we're on the Western Europe server, and that was, come on cursor, that was Echo Golf Bravo Romeo Kilo. That's Echo Golf Bravo Romeo Kilo, Malay. You should see a helipad there. If not, if you want to spawn in, if you look for a place called Sandaig, just up here, if I wind the map out a bit, give you a better idea, there's Skye, there's Plockton. If you look for Sandaig there, you can probably spawn in on the ground just there. Hello Sean, hope all is good with you. Right, let's get moving again. There's so much about flying helicopters that is rewarding. It's a new skill set, it's a new way of looking at the world, new things to do. It's such good fun. Good guy. The Royal Navy is a box surrounded by trees when they do some confined area training. Photo on the Discord. It really highlights the value of rear crew and even in small helis. Guy, you're absolutely right. I think I've said it before on the HEMS live streams that when you're flying with a crew, of course your crew are giving you the benefit of tail rotor distance to obstacles, distance to the ground, all that kind of good stuff, just to give you as the pilot some extra input. Down and the speed was creeping up. I was going to go to an outside view then, but I'm very cautious doing that. I've got view set up on my my little gamepad thing. But for those that watched it, and they suddenly took great pleasure in it, I slammed it into drone view, and of course when you go into drone view you lose control. You don't have any control over the helicopter, and the poor old H145 pitched into a mountainside. So, and I'm certainly not going to do, this is so unstable compared to the H145. I am not going to risk going to an outside view and suddenly pitching in. Is this an MSFS 2020? It's available in 2020, or I'd say it's available for 2020. This is a This is I'm flying in 2024, and this is an updated version for 2024. Or should I say, it's an updated version that works in 2024. I don't think there's anything particularly different about it in 2024. It's not got any special features or anything like that. So we're going to head across to, watch yourself, head across to Sandag, which, as I was saying before, was the home of Gavin Maxwell, the author. He wrote a number of books, including Ring of Bright Water, which was about his life with otters. And a little bit like Mike Tonkey's living in the wilderness, getting away from the rat race, living with nature, harsh life, but beautiful nonetheless. Unfortunately, his cottage, Camusfiana, that he lived in, is no more. It burned down, and his resting place is actually, there's a memorial to him, and his ashes are underneath it, right where we're going. But it's a lovely spot. And again, just imagine a summer's evening sitting outside your cottage, something nice to drink, and looking out at the view and the wildlife. So this is the bay. Called it Ring of Bright Water because it's kind of surrounded by water. There's a burn at the back. You've got the sea at the front here, and obviously over there as well. And there's a waterfall which he loved, but I don't think we can see that. So this is where he was. His cottage was just down here. That was his beach, and the memorial is over there. Yeah, you can't really see. Let's focus on the flying a moment. You can't really see a great deal there, but what a lovely spot. Look at that. It sounds silly because it's only a blooming flight simulator, but out of respect I'm not going to land on it. But isn't that gorgeous? What a lovely place to live. Toags Huey has got a beautiful flight model. He is so good at helicopters. I can't recommend it enough. Having bought the Alouette, the Lama, when the Huey came out, I had no hesitation at all. Wonderful helicopter. Okay, so we're going to head across to Skye now. Just zooming the map out a little bit. Back up Chinook, tier medals on board. Reminds me. Stick in the left hand, mug in the right. I am conscious, by the way, that I do need to do some live streaming of warbirds. My addiction to helicopters has grown so strong that I know I'm ignoring the warbirds a little bit, for which there is no excuse, especially considering the words on my blooming logo. But that's what's happened. I've just become channel years ago. Channel's 10 years old this year, incredibly. Originally I mainly just used to fly warbirds, but helicopters just grabbed me, so I spend a lot of time doing that now. So coming up to Skye now, just going to come up over here. envisaged that as we came. Yes. Oh, watch out for Aidan. Exactly what I hoped. Some really nice views. Mountains in the distance there. Wonderful. Oh, there we go. Back on the collective, back on the stick. As we came over the ridge, same thing. Happens almost every time. Get carried away, nose down, contouring against the ground, and before you know it, the bell of doom goes off. Just to remind you not to be an idiot. Yes, Blaster, I do. I've got the Chinook. I can see Aiden's in it just over there. And I'm doing it again. Come back a bit. But yeah, I don't fly the Chinook much. I should do. I flew it the other day, actually, up in this neck of the woods. It's great fun. It's actually a good helicopter, again, if you wanted to. Depends how you want to approach it. It's a good way to start with helicopters because you don't get the same torque issues that you do in a helicopter like this. But sometimes it's quite good to throw yourself into the deep end with a helicopter like this, so you have to learn the ropes all the way. Anthony, it looks very realistic. It's just gorgeous. The fact that you can take a vehicle into the simulation and drive around amazes me. I watched another streamer drive into the Grand Canyon. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. That's the incredible thing about this simulator, that, you know, developers like Parallel 42 can produce land vehicles and you can actually drive around in it. It's so realistic. I'm actually looking forward, and I hope that Parallel 42's camp out works in 2024 at some point, because even that is just great fun, finding a spot to land on and pitching a campsite. You know, it's very picturesque. Very good flying there, Aidan. Excellent formation flying, not helped by the fact that with me looking at you, I'm now not flying quite so steady as I was. Right, quick check of where we are. So we'll just scoot over here, head to the hills. Yeah, Max, welcome. Love Norway. Exactly, this Norway is exactly the kind of terrain that a helicopter like this was designed for. You know, flying in the mountains and all that kind of stuff, and it is very much seat of the pants. It is I'll say it again at the risk of being very, very boring. If you're into getting into helicopters, this is such a good machine to learn to fly in, because it's so seat of the pants and the physics are brilliant. Sparky does it now. I'll have to give it a try. I thought for some reason the last time I checked it wasn't compatible, but it's been a while since I've checked the Parallel 42 compatibility list. So I will have to have a look. But thank you for that, old chap. It's good to know. I'm just checking the map now, just to check where I am. And now up here there's another helipad. So we'll take a look and see what that's like. he goes, getting carried away again. Once again, tipping over the top, nose down, buzzer goes off. Blaster, that's a very good question, to which I don't know the answer to, because I've not flown the... Oh, hang on a minute. Toags. Has Toag got a CH-47? There's a Blackburn one. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, right. I don't know. I've not flown the Blackburn one. Perhaps some of the more experienced Chinook connoisseurs in the chat might be able to confirm. Right. Just need to concentrate a little bit. Getting carried away by the coastline. So our helipad is over here. So it looks like it's the head of this sea lock. Steady on, doing it again. Thank you, Guy. I did wonder. Oh, idiot. It's the wrong sea lock. Okay. We're still in the right direction. I've wound the map in and out so many times on scaling, I keep forgetting what scale it's at. So we just need to pop over the top of this ridge. Sky really is just so majestic. Look at these hills, mountains. Okay, be interested to see what we've got here in the way of a helipad. Right, don't put the nose down. I definitely need to get Google Maps in. The terrain visualization on this map that I've got in nav map is absolutely awful. It all just kind of looks flat. I was just looking down there to see if I could see anything on the GTM, but of course when we had the reset just before, it's removed the GTN, so that's no good. Oh, I love that. That 222 is one of the prettiest helicopters in the world, without a doubt. And again, I don't fly it nearly often enough. Beautiful helicopter. Right. Let's have a look. I'm going to fly with the left hand. Get the map in. Try and pronounce it. How it's spelled, Sligicant Mountain, but it won't be pronounced like that. So it's down there. Looks like it might be some kind of mountain rescue base or something like that, but let's have a look. See what we can see. I'm sure MSFS 2024 deliberately puts these helipads in the middle of trees just to make you sweat. There it is. There it is. Where's the wind? Avoiding action. Yeah, so that helipad, not only is it right next to some trees, it looks like it's on quite a cheeky slope as well. Just checking the wind again. What do we got? Oh, 18 knot wind, so it's quite Nice spicy wind. I think I've lost my zoom setting as well, because I can see that fisheye effect again, which can make it a bit tricky because it distorts one's spatial awareness. Just checking the wind, checking the tree. The tree is very close to the helipad. That's as close to that tree as I am willing to get. Look from the outside. So actually when you look at it from the outside, there's plenty of room there, but it's funny when you're inside, that tree looks quite close. Right, let me just quickly, sorry guys, I'm just going to adjust my zoom a little bit, there we go, and then I'm going to exit. I'll just wait for Guy to come down and then I'll pop over the top of it. Nice landing. Guy's in a Wildcat that I don't have, that's why he's appearing as a Bonanza, Mooney or whatever it is. So as wild helipads go, that wasn't too bad. And it is kind of cool that we've got things like that in the sim now. Good God! I've just seen who's in the chat. Toag! I am honoured. And also slightly embarrassed. Because I'm hurling your machine around like an idiot. But it's a beautiful helicopter. I was just saying before, I don't know how long you've been watching for, I was just saying before how I think it's a fantastic helicopter to learn to fly helicopters in the sim in, because it is just so seat of the pants that you learn the physics really well, and you get to understand how helicopters work really well, and you also learn your own limitations really well. Okay, I'm just looking at my map, so we want to go over this way now. Yeah, the Huey's lovely. Do you know what, that must be one of the things about being a developer. As soon as you appear in any chat somewhere, everyone's saying, oh, can we have this, can we have that? I'm going to resist. I nearly said something then. I'm going to resist. Okay, so we'll just scoot over the top here and head back down this way, back towards the mountains. There again, same thing, coming over the ridge, nose down, speed builds up, bell goes off, so down on the collective a little bit, back on the nose, and just arrest that acceleration. Gorgeous scenery for helicopters. So this is the approach to our final destination, which is going to be another one of those wild helipads. So hopefully there's something there. We will see. It's incredible actually just how big the Isle of Skye is. And when you see the mountains that are on it, enormous scale. As I was saying before about flying the helicopter in balance, when you don't have that physical feedback and you suddenly look down and you see where the ball is, the slip indicator. So we'll get some pedalling to sort that out pronto. The other great thing about the Lama is the visibility. Like the Alouette, this kind of bubble cockpit is just wonderful. You can see so much, and you get that crucial spatial awareness that you need in helicopters. You need that good view of the outside world so you can see what the helicopter's doing, and make those tiny control inputs. I keep talking about it being in the zone, but I can't think of a better name for it. But and at the risk of sounding cheesy, it's that point where you and the helicopter are kind of at one, and the helicopter is an extension of you, and you're not necessarily thinking about it. You're just making tiny movements, and not too many of them. That's a lovely feeling. So, note to self, coming over a ridge, don't suddenly put the nose down and go tanking over it. We really are so lucky with the weather today. What have we got? 11 knot wind now. Not too bad. Whoa, there we go. Quickly arrest that acceleration. Down on the collective, back on the nose. Come down into the valley. So, Glenbrittle. Echo Golf Lima Kilo Alpha is our destination. And by the looks of it, it's going to be another one of those helipads in the middle of the trees. Let's see. Let us see what it throws at us. So we've probably got a lovely, nice country house in reality and not Dunder Mifflin. So we're just, oh there it is. Well, it's near too bad. That's alright. That's alright. Getting a little bit of stuttering coming in there, not sure why. Right, so wind is coming from the other direction. So just checking where Aiden is. Let's rack it round. Now, right, there's good. Let's do that again. That's a good example of what I was talking about before. I could feel that the rate of descent was quite high, so I pulled some collective, and as soon as I pulled the collective, the torque kicked in, and my H145 muscle memory was not enough to deal with that quickly enough. say, what do you call a flock of llamas? I've no idea. Right, quick catch up on the chat. Much as I'd like in Wessex and early Puma, as I flew in both as an RF crewman. Oh, fantastic. I'll be happy with a good gazelle. So the gazelle was going to be one that I was going to say earlier on. Spent a few years living at Shawbury, and you see the gazelles there, and it's got a wonderful sound to it, and it's a great looking helicopter. So yeah, I'd like to see that as well. Puma would be good as well. Is it really useful to put a thumbnail with your head? You can't see any of the flight instruments. Well, it's interesting, Blue Paz. I can't see my head, luckily. It's on a screen over there. But that's actually a good point. You can't see a damn thing, can you? So, there we go. Go on! You'll be pleased to know my ugly mug has gone and now you can see the instruments. But that's actually a good point. Blue Paz, I don't know who you are, but thank you for that. I think in future I might not fly with the camera on, because then you can actually see what's going on. But that's one of those things that is actually really bloody obvious. How on earth can you see the instruments if you've got me staring at you? Good point. Yeah, Puma would be good. Puma would be good. Right. Well, thank you to everyone for joining. That was it's a good flight. We've been. Let me just lock. There we go. We've been flying for about an hour and 50 minutes. So that's been a good little trip. Beautiful scenery. And good company as well. Nice little collection of helicopters. Hope you guys have enjoyed the trip as well. I do love flying in Scotland, but as I say, I'm conscious that I need to probably fly other places as well. So maybe next time we do a stream, might fly somewhere else. I need to go to Cyprus at some point. Guy, what about putting yourself in the top left? There's only the centre member of the windscreen. Yeah, do you know, that's a good point, Guy. No, you're absolutely right. That's a very good point. I think, as I was saying before, because I don't particularly like looking at myself, I don't really look at the screen. And I'm obviously concentrating on flying where I don't see my camera. So it's something I've never realised before, but it's absolutely obvious. So yeah, I will bear that in mind. I will either not have me on there, or I will put it top left. Melvin, yeah, you're absolutely right, and it's funny, it's one of those, at the risk of boring everyone, it's one of those debates that I think you kind of have with yourself as a streamer. When I make videos, I don't have a camera on myself, but it's something that I've heard for streams people like to have, because yeah, they're chatting to you, they can see you, it kind of connects you more with the audience. So that is the dilemma. That's the that's the reason for having it there. But I think Guy is probably right. If I move it to the top right or top left somewhere, then it's less intrusive. So it makes absolute sense. So thank you for that, Guy, and thank you, Blue Pass, for the note. It does make a lot of sense. Anyway, good to have you guys along. Thanks for joining. I will just, for one last time, pop in the chat. There is Discord. It's not the same as the old Discord. The old Discord was like a general flight sim Discord about all sorts of things, and it grew to be massive. This is just a very simple Discord about the channel, and for when we do this sort of thing, for group flights and that kind of stuff, and streaming. But anyway, I have waffled enough and taken up enough of your Sunday. I wish you a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you on the channel very soon. Take care now. Bye bye.